Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we'll be doing some tonal exercise. So we are going to use the popular back. So I'm talking about a human back. And essentially I'm talking about a man's back. So slightly developed back so that we can work and have some fun with tones and values. So what we'll do is put an arc right there, and first we have to get some kind of anatomy going. So I'll require a shape somewhat like that, and then according to, you could also model, or you could also check out some models and see, if you could pick a back that you can work with. But in any case, we will go with a bit of a standard thing. So right there I'm putting in the upper back, so I'm coming inward from the delts there and putting in some curves right there and some structure there. So some of this going this way, and then compression right here again, and rear delt, and I'm going to put in the back of the arm right there and make that more defined, and somewhat of the back of the arm right there, and that line. So I've just put in a minimal structure, not like too much. So I'm putting in a few more curves, like here and there. There's a dimension going right there. So what we are now working with is a light source. Let's say that it's falling in from this side, and so the shadows will be falling like along this side. So we will start from one end, and we can start anywhere on this end, and let us start with, so the basic principle is that around every curve we have to just follow the principle of light and shade. For instance, if there's a ball, the light is falling in, and it will be forming from that angle anyways, not this angle, this angle. So there will be a curve right there, and right along the curve dark tones, and they'll be going into lighter tones. So if you see there, that is the basic and the core principles. Right here, curve, and I'm just putting in right along that curve a little bit of tone, fading it out, and go down. And then right under that, since there's a compression of skin, I have to put in a shade that works again away from that area, leaving this line sharp and coming down. And this you could then work on and make more light going up. So there's one part, and in this case the rear delt that you have put down. Now we will go behind the arm and work pretty much the same way, because I have a small bulge here, let's say, and we're going to work with that. I've even extended the elbow and the forearm there. Perhaps we will work on that a little bit, or perhaps we'll just focus here. So the back is actually the most complex muscle, both to build and to also sketch. So what I'm doing is, right now, since we're talking about the back, and since I already joined the arm and the arm hopped on board, so we will just have some details put out of the way for the arm. And right along that curve, so I've put in sharper tone here because there's a bulge that is away from the light in this case, and away from the light as in that there is light, but not as much as on this. This is more highlighted because this is in the face of the light. So this one, not directly in light, but yes, partaking of the light. So what I've done is just put in, it's the same exercise that we did here, except longer muscle structure, and I put in a tone right there, right along. So next, of course, the area that casts the most shadow. Okay, so continue. We put in, let me grab the thicker pencil there, just make things easy. So darker shadows falling right under the, right on the areas that are the most away from the light source altogether. So now the beauty of the back is that you have all these folds going in. So just darken those out first and like let this flow into the darker zones, but only if it is actually flowing right in there. For instance, this part I do not know if it is, in every case, if it flows all the way down. These folds will most likely, so just carry that in, and then again apply the same principle and use different tones to highlight that fold. So some of it will come together like that. And then this area here has a bulge, so we'll put that out of the way with the same exercise that we employed here on the rear delt. So we're going again darker tone there because it's starting to fall away from the light source, and then going into the sharp structure there, and then fading out, and then fading out upward as well. And you should be able to hit some area where there's like minimal muscle tones, right here for instance. And then this area here requires a little treatment as well. So you will put in some tone since it's starting to fall away from the light and curve downward. You will, and this one is a little bit sharper because it's a distinctive line and the back is curved. So this line actually could even grow more intense going down, but again it depends on the kind of back. The one that I've just put in here is like fairly fit with a fair amount of dimension, and it has all these essential curves that you can work with. And right here, so if it, depending on how much defined this area is, I made it just defined enough so that I can put the same routine here but not as dark. So I have used a lighter tone here on the upper trap, let's say, and then I'm smudging out as I'm going down and trying to have this dark tone from the edges blend in a little bit into the rest of the frame here. Now of course you could have even like, there might be like more skin folds here as we go down, and again that'll all depend what kind of back you are trying to model, how well defined, and how much light is falling into it. So, but that is the general idea. So along here, for instance, again, this area will most likely be under an immediate shadow, not all the way. I've actually done that a little wrong. Just about here I think will be under shadow, and then since this is closer to the light but still going downward, it is away from it, so softer tones but same routine going along the bulge there, and then fading as we go upward, a little more distinctive here. Sharper again where the skin, like where the muscles start forming and taking shape, right here, this bulge. So same exercise again. You just have to imagine the ball contorted into different positions. Alright, so you're getting there. So I'm not going to go into this arm here now, because again we have to make the back the focus of our exercise today. So right here you could have same exercise, but as I said, back is a complex muscle and you will need to see exactly where every fold is falling down and then put in the tones accordingly. They call, if it's very well defined, they're also called fingers when it comes to bodybuilding. But again, I think that if you're actually doing a bodybuilder, it will be a much different story, but highly recommended exercise because it could actually do wonders for your study of putting down the human form. So I'm putting in a softer light right here along this side, and working my way down into more shadow. So if I were to smudge this out, you will see that it's going to blend in and bring out the fascinating aspects of the human form. So there we have it. So we have worked somewhat with tones, and we used the back to use two different kinds of pencils. I used a 2B and a 4B and followed that principle and applied it on the different striations on this particular back. So please do check your own models out and keep practicing. Have a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. Keep in touch. Have yourself a wonderful day.